Hello everybody and welcome to round 8 of the SLR A1 Championship, and today brings us to a rain-soaked Silverstone as we heading for a very interesting qualifying session. We don't know if it's going to get wetter, we don't know if it's going to get drier, but we've got 16 drivers with us today, and should mix up the grid hopefully, especially with people like Montana here on the grid. And also we've got Jack, please shut up. So welcome back, Jack, or Mark, or whatever you want to be called, I don't know. I hope you enjoyed your little bit of a break, and we hope you can put on a bit of a performance. Obviously, former T1 winner, and yeah, came P3 last season, T1 I think, or season 3 I think, yeah. So he returns to the league, in the sister league this time. But the person who really is on top at the minute is NSX Montana, and also in other news, NSX Berra is now a thing, as he joins Montana in the NSX now program as it is, and he'll be hoping he can get some form from that. We'll go on board with our man Jack in the Merc. As he starts his first laps. We're not expecting miracles from him, but he's definitely got talent as this lad. It's fair to say. And it'll be interesting to see what he can produce. I'm just sharing the stream. And then we'll get on with commentating. So, yeah, as you said, with the addition of Mark, it will make a different prospect for Montana, different type of person. Mark is quite an aggressive driver, and an aggressive person in my view. On his day though, he's lightning. And we'll see what he can produce here today. We don't know what times will be like. Scunnaford is a 38.2, and Dusty goes just a smidge quicker than that. But we're still on board with Jack at the minute. Josie is nowhere to be seen as he comes around the final corner. Weston's managed to go within a tenth, so it's very close at the top so far, but except that to tumble quite a lot. Everyone's out on track except for Berra and Akil, and here goes Jack across the line now, and he invalidated his lap, so that was a pointless exercise as Montana is coming to end his lap in the Toro Rosso, coming around the final few corners. The man of the moment, let's say, has absolutely dominated the championship so far. Comes across the line now, and here goes pole position by some way, it's fair to say. An early lead of 1.2 seconds. It's quite frightening, to be fair. Is there anybody else could attend to that? Alfie Jensen. He's halfway through. Mocking again. So not really anybody could attend to that. Muggins 4.2 off. I think he's made a mistake there. Elmo's back this week, and he's currently P5, 2.7 off. So the midfield is in, let's say, the usual candidates of Dusty, Knuffle and Western Mower, all within a tenth for each other, which is very close, but the gap up front is pretty startling, to say the least. And we have Hidden in the grass, so he's getting hidden in the grass, well and truly. And I think Cavillion, there we go, I remembered, has invalidated his first lap as well. As Mocking is coming to the end of his lap now, and he's nowhere to be seen on the pace front, as he's not got anything good to say on that lap. And we'll see what Jack can do as he comes across the line now, and he's going to do a 47.9, so he's getting 9 tenths. So that's within a second of Montana, with AJ also there as well. So it's fairly close again in that midfield of 3-4 tenths, with Jack just in front at the minute. Cavillion's going to come across the line now. We'll see what he can produce. He's way off. 45. an invalidated 45 as Montana goes even quicker with 36.6 in the third stage. I wonder if it's going to get drier or wetter. It's going to be interesting. And yeah, judging by everyone's times, it's probably about to say the same. There's no one rushing to get out there. Anyone else coming to the end of their laps as Knuffle is improving by 800ths. I'm presuming they're just going to go lap after lap after lap, but we'll have to wait and see. AJ's coming to the end of his lap. Jack's up just a little bit. AJ's way down. And we'll keep an eye on Knuffle as he's coming to the end of his lap. He's going to finish his lap. He comes across the line now. And he improved just about half a tenth. So just ahead of Dusty, but still behind AJ, who's gone for another lap. And Jack's 4 tenths up at the minute, so he's going to put himself back in a second of Montana, but still quite a long way behind of the championship leaders. He slides out the last corner, but is 8 tenths behind the mega quick Montana at this point. We'll see what he has in the bag and see if he can actually make up that sort of time. I'm a bit sceptical, I'm not going to lie. There's Barras now on the lap as well as Cavilion pits. I'm expecting a few people to pit now, running out of fuel. Marquise is a little bit down on his time. He's done a time that's 3.4 seconds off. So that's around 1 minute 40. So far, Knuffle's a second down. Alfie's run out of fuel. Montana's in the pits, so he'll be happy with that. Lap especially in the dry. In the dry he's usually fairly quick and fairly ahead, but in the wet he's dominant. It seems he's even more dominant than usual. There's Dusty coming across the line now, 38.2. I think he's starting a lap in the McLaren. And is Jack going to finish his lap? Or is he coming into the pits to set a new set of ultras? We'll have to wait and see. He does come into the pits. Yeah, he got a bit foxed there by Knuffle. But they both come in pretty safely in the end. As Mocky Mix improves to P7, and they're 2.5 off. Is Weston coming to this lap? No, he's 2 minutes down, so I'm presuming he's not. We've got Dusty on a lap. It'll be interesting to see what he can do. He's been the only one really being able to get in somewhere near Montana. He's been the closest contender to him recently, but he needs to pull something out of the bag to win something here. And he comes into the middle section, so it's 30.6. We don't know quite how quick that is. So far, well, I don't anyway. You guys might have some idea. As he comes around now to the final few quarters of the lap. Just to be hoping to get a little bit closer to the top lot than he is now. Only P5 so far. As he's coming across the line now, and it's a 37.5, and that's just behind Jack, only just. But it does look like it's drying out just a little bit, so maybe the track's improving, which could be better for some people. It depends on track timing now, I think, on when you do your laps. And I think a few people are starting to realise that. Is almost starting his lap. No, he finished it with 39.1. As someone improved there, I think it was Weston there. Yeah, he improved to P4. So he's 1.1 off so far. As Montana, is he going on softs? He put them on for a second. He is. So it is drying out enough for possibly the soft tyres. which is interesting. So that will definitely mix qualifying them. Who can do the best laps really on the dry tyres? Has Popeye put on a lap yet? No, Popeye has not put on a lap yet. He's currently on an out lap. I'm presuming he's invalidated it so far. Pavilion is currently on a lap. He's been fairly quick so far this season. He put in a good fight with last race with the likes of Western and Alfie and Knuffle, them sort of guys. That's the sort of region he is at the minute. It's fairly close in that area. As it looks like the dry tyres are going to be used at the end of this. As the spray's still coming off the tyres, so might be a bit difficult. As Montana, I keep saying the soft tyres and then disappearing again. Maybe it's just going to be right at the end who gets last lap, best last lap. As we're going to stay on board Pavilion. Coming around the final corners now. And we'll see what his lap is. It looks like it's fairly slow in the last few corners. Maybe that's just me. He comes across the line now, and it's a 39.1, so it wasn't the greatest of laps from Pavilion. It looks like Mocky Mix is going to go on the softs, supposedly. There's Jack's on an outlap, and he's gone on the on the intermediates. Will the softs be seen? We've got a few people fitting them. Are they the better option? So we've got a few different interpretations here. Jack's gone on the intermediates. Montana looks like he's going to go on the softs. Mocky makes the same. And Josney as well. But then there's AJ on the intermediates. And same with Knuffle, and there's most of the grid. They're the only three on them. Intermediates, we've got Popeye on a lap. That 31.7 is about 8/10 off in the middle sector alone, off of, let's say, the likes of Dusty, I think, as he comes around the final few corners. And he's not going particularly quick. When he comes across the line, it's going to be a 41.0, so quite a long way off, it's fair to say, as Muggin improves on that. No, he's already improved to go 3/10 up, and he's just in behind the likes of Dusty and Jack there, who's come straight into the pits. I think he's going on the softs. I think he's realised the softs might be the better option here, as Josine has gone out on them softs. I can't say it looks brilliant for him, judging on him, but that's just maybe him, I don't know. It's definitely drying out, which makes things very interesting indeed. I think Montana's going to go for one lap on them softs. As AJ runs all sorts of wide there, maybe in the dirty air of Popeye. And he's a bit tentative there, maybe he might be coming into the pits, I think. He's 6/10 off, so he can't really afford to come into the pits, really, can he? With the time remaining, no, he has to go again. Well, that's the end of his qualifying. That is the end of Alfie Jensen's qualifying. As Mocky Meeks has given up. Maybe them soft tyres weren't the right choice. As Montana leaves the pits. And so does Jack. So the battle for pole is on. And it could go anyway, really. And I still don't think they're the right tyres. I mean, the spray's still coming off them intermediates. As Dusty's gone for them intermediates. Could be very interesting. Or is none of the tyres in the windows? There's Dusty, who's going to start his lap on the intermediate tyre. We're going to stay on board with Dusty. Westham's on an outlap, and so is Knuffle. They've gone all intermediates. So is Dusty, and the front two have both gone softs. Is that the right move? As Dusty comes across the line now to start his lap, going into turn 1, 7th gear, very tentative from Dusty, not managing to get that full throttle into turn 2 now, brake as late as you dare, 3rd gear, try and just carry as much speed in the rain as you possibly can, because the acceleration is piss poor, it's fair to say, in these conditions, as he goes around now, turn 3 and 4, and now going into the very, very quick left-hander as Cavillion returns from the session. Keep it as tight as you would like to not run wide, and Dusty is running pretty well on this particular lap as Montana starts his final effort, and we'll see what Dusty's time's like through this middle sector fairly soon as he goes through Copse Corner now. How fast is he allowed to go through? 6th gear flat, and I don't know how that compares to everybody else, but the track is definitely a lot drier. I don't know if it's soft conditions just yet. We'll find out soon enough, and we'll see. Dusty's done a 30.6, so he's improving. He's definitely improving, but is it enough? As Jack has retired from the session, so that's made his thoughts on these tyres very, very clear. And Dusty, all sorts of locks up there, but I think he gets away with it. And he's now going to come across the line. Is it enough for pole position? No. He does improve, but he's 7/10 off. And that means your pole sitter is going to be Montana by 7/10 of a second. And he's struggling as well. And I think he's pretty much given up. As Josin doesn't look like he's got the pace. Got a new subscriber. Shout out to Reese. As yeah, Montana dominated. I don't think he's improving too much, but he isn't. That's the answer. He's just going to come across the line. He's the last person on track, so, and he comes across the line to take what is yet another pole position. And I'll have a look at the championship standings for you guys, because I'm pretty sure they pretty much run every single race going. Is this one? Yeah, Montana has every race he finished. He's finished first or second, and he's only finished second once. So that says about his form. But in the dry conditions, can Jack or Dusty do anything about that? I think the only person who could probably do something about that is Jack, if he can, yeah, just pull something out of the bag. But your pole position man is the Swiss legend, I suppose, Montana. By 7/10 of a second. And it should be an interesting race, especially in the midfield. There should be a lot of battles. A lot of cars jostling for position. Hopefully no contact into turn 1. That's going to be very important. That everyone gives each other the respect. And more the better. As they all choose their setups, fine tuning. Their setups in terms of fuel and race strategy. Race strategy, if it remains dry, well, it looks dry to me, would be just a one-stop soft mediums. or medium softs if you're outside the top 10. That'd be the optimal strategy to go with. We've got 16 drivers here today, and it should lead to a very interesting race. My prediction would be Montana winning, Jack second, Dusty third. I think that will be what I think will happen. But anything can happen. This is motorsport. Montana could crash for all we know. But he's your pole sitter, Dusty, who showed great resilience to get to P2 last week, and Jack on his return to the league in P3, AJ P4, Weston P5, Knuffle, who's had a pretty up-down season, P2 in the championship, I believe. No, he's not P2 in the championship, he's P9 in the championship. He's had a pretty poor season, to be fair. P6, Elmo, P7, Mocking Weeks in P8, Gavillion P9, Josine in P10, Berra, surprisingly, all the way down in 11th. Didn't really get a lap in, and didn't like the wet conditions, it seems. We've Hidden just in behind in 12th, Akil in P13, Muggen P14, Popeye just avoiding being last with Borob in that last position on the grid. And yeah, especially the midfield battles between Cavillion, Mockowitz, Elmo, Knuffle, Weston and AJ just ahead could lead to a very tight battle, because they're not too dissimilar in pace, and Berry could join in that. I'd be very surprised if Josine is in that. But yeah, be a very interesting race. But I'm really looking forward to it. I really am looking forward to this race. So as we've got a McLaren and a Toro Rosso merger there. Do you want to have a look what that card looked like if they were both together? A Red Bull McLaren. As we all line up now to the grid, as Knuffle has backed up the pack a little bit there. I mean, it's a bit naughty from him. Maybe he should get a penalty for that. As now we're getting ready for the main event as we head to 5 red lights, and they've gone out, and actually we've gone away straight away as Montana gets a decent start. Dusty just slips in behind. Jack's got a pretty poor start. AJ's already jumped him, and there's no contact really into turn 1 as AJ goes round the outside. Not AJ, Montana is getting under threat from Dusty as he's trying to make his move, as he's got the inside line and he's took the lead of this race as Dusty's making his move straight away. As there's a really good view from AJ here, as any contact would lead with him in the lead here. And going into turn number 4 now, and it looks like Montana is going to regain that lead as they all go side by side, as Jack just in behind, get a little bit of contact from Knuffle, but they get away with it. There's going to be some battles in behind. I think the worst of the starters is probably being Cavillion, as Berra's made his way up. We're going to go back to the front battle here as Dusty and Montana goes side by side through Beckett's now and Chapel, and it looks like Montana's won out yet again, and they've been the crucial battles that have meant he can keep the lead of this race. But the lead now is Montana with Dusty in behind, AJ third, and Jack P4, and then Knuffle P5 in that Red Bull, and it's very, very close up ahead as we're trying to get a decent camera angle from up above of these guys, but we're not getting a lot so far under the front wing of that Mercedes. And Weston looks like he's got a very good run on Knuffle here going into turn 1, and doesn't quite get to what he wants, but Knuffle runs wide and it gives him an opportunity as Montana has really backed up the pack, and here comes Dusty down the inside, and here goes AJ as well. Montana has made a hash of this, and the Red Bull on the Toro Rosso now, and Dusty is allowed to get away just a little bit, and Jack's got a great view of this. three-way battle up ahead. Dusty, and now AJ's gone for the lead, a double overtake round the outside of Dusty. Montana is going to try and make it 3 wide, and they get away with it just about. Still, Jack has a great view of these three squabbling as they go side by side into Gops now, and Dusty wins out as they all back each other up. Knuffle and Western are in behind battling, but the top 4 going hammer, tongue and nail into Chapel now, and it looks like that Dusty has now got away and Montana has gone from first to third, and that is a surprise. Look at them all just following Dusty into Stowe there as Montana makes a move, and Knuffles bend it somewhere because he's out of this race, and he'll be watching now from the stands. So this great battle is shaping up here for the lead as Dusty leads from AJ and Montana, and then in behind is Jack, as well as safety car, virtual safety car has been deployed, and that's allowed. I nearly gave the front 4 a bit of a scare there because I realised they just all broke into turn 1, and yeah, they're all together. Weston is allowed to close up just a little bit there, and yeah, I think Berra had an incident with Josine and Knuffle. I think Knuffle may have done that effect, but the virtual safety car's already come out, and Montana's been caught napping really there. That's allowed Jack to close in a little bit, and Weston giving a bit of a nudge. There's a lot of 5-second stop and goes being given out at the back of the field. I think Berra's got one, Muggan's got one, and yeah, that's 2 already. They're running. Weston has joined the front 4, so the front 5 are all together, and this is really exciting as Montana can't really keep up right now, and that's really surprising. Despite the pace he's shown early on in the season, he's not quite being able to live with the front 2. He's already dropped out of the DRS, and here goes Jack down the inside of Montana, and he just dummies it for now. But that DRS is crucial for him if he wants to try and make something of this race to the front 3. And it's important that Montana stays within that DRS, as well as to note that Jack runs no assists and Montana uses the ABS. And I think Alfie as well uses the ABS, as he's got a very good run on Dusty, and that is a horrible come angle as he tries to go right round the outside of Dusty, and that would be a brave move. And look at Weston and Jack as well in behind. These front 5 are really going for it on lap 4, and it looks like Montana has to stick in behind, and Weston is the same. They're all in DRS range of each other as Jack's fell in behind, as Alfie goes very wide there, and that's allowing Montana to make a little bit of a move on Alfie, but not quite so far, as they all stick together. So we've got Dusty in the lead, to remind you, AJ 2nd, Montana 3rd, Jack 4th, and Weston in P5. Josie has managed to get his way into P6 out of pretty much nothing there, with Elmo looking to make a move, and they're 4 seconds back from the leaders, as Weston's dropped a little bit back, and it looks like Montana now is putting the afterburners on. We'll have a look at the situation with the ERS. As you can see, Montana's got a lot more, so he's been saving, and it looks like now he can make that move. And it also interesting, what tyres everyone got, and I haven't looked at that yet. I forgot it was raining in qualifying. Montana's on the mediums, which is very interesting, and that might be something to do why he's falling behind a little bit. Maybe he needs to really make the most of this, Montana, to be honest, in his first stint, and just ride it out as Jack tries it around the outside, gets a 3-second penalty for trying it, but he goes for the dive bomb. I spoke about the aggressive moves from Jack, and he's looking to make that move on Montana, but Montana firmly closes that door as a contact into turn 3, and Montana has dropped a lot behind now AJ, and somehow still has that DRS, just about keeps in the detection zone. Will Jack try something brave? Doesn't look like it, as AJ's picked up a penalty as well. One of Montana's strengths is not picking up them penalties, as Berra has got the fastest lap of the race there, all the way down in 14th place. As we've still got 15 runners in this Grand Prix. I think Mugen is still going, he is, fair play to him. And Weston has still got a little bit of a view of this, 8 tenths behind though, mind you. And Elmo is still behind Josine, further back. And also Mocky Mix is joining that battle, so we've got battles all the way through the field a little bit there. But Dusty still leads this race, and has been quite unlucky not to win a race so far. As we now head on to lap number 6, and the front four should I say, are all in DRS. There's been there's been an incident, and it's Mocky Mix and Elmo have come together. So I'm presuming it's through Stowe, or the exit Stowe. They've just came together. Unfortunately for them, but Montana is still stalking the back of Dusty and AJ. Jack's starting to drop back on them softs, as well as Weston. So these three are all in the battle of their own, really. As AJ stalks his prey of Dusty, and Jack gets another penalty. I'll keep an eye on the penalty situation. So Dusty yet to pick up a warning. That's going to be crucial with AJ having a penalty. Montana's got 2 warnings, and the penalty situation will be crucial later on in the race, as they all start to have incidents. As Josine and Akil set to have battles. Akil's closed up to the back of Josine now, so 7 seconds now back of Western. As there's an incident in sector 1, and I think that's Mugen giving up the ghost. So 6 laps in, we're down to 14. Over Mockimi's going on the hard side, so he's going to the end of the race. He's going for something, a slightly different strategy. And what is actually interesting is if we have a look at the gap to leader, there are 38 seconds. That could be around 8 seconds that he'll probably have to pit again. He's probably going for a 2-stop. So that might backfire. He could have probably played the long game on the hards. There's a front three, still going for it. With Jack just in behind, and Weston just in P5, and this is turning out to be an absolute classic. There's Dusty and AJ are still going for it. AJ trying it around the outside. It's not gonna work. He's just sitting behind. Dusty's just getting the exits as nice as he'd like to get them. As Montana gets a bit squirmy on the throttle on exit. And I'm pretty sure Dusty doesn't use assists anymore as well, so it's a pretty impressive performance from Dusty at the minute. And AJ is really putting on some real pressure. To have 2 cars up your bottom is a lot of pressure, and one mistake could be the end. But Dusty is currently keeping these 2 at bay, and he's doing a very good job of it. Is he coming into the pits? No. The undercut will be a big strategy call, as it depends on how quick you can get the mediums fired up as well for them front 2, as Elmo's made the move on thingy there, as Popeye and Borrow are going for it, as it looks like Popeye's going to win now on exit. Is he? No, he's coming into the pits, he's backed out. And Cavillion, I think, is about to make a move on Josine, as Akil is actually 2.5 seconds ahead, so Josine's going like a stone at the minute. Just a matter of time for Cavillion now, as Elmo picks up a penalty, and he doesn't make the move. And currently the Jack and Weston both falling back from each other, and the front 3 as well. So the undercut will be crucial. I think Jack might pull that undercut, to be honest, as here goes Cavillion on Josine, and it looks like Cavillion is being able to make that move into P7. There's these three still all together. I mean, I'm running out of superlatives, how consistent and so clean these are. Obviously, Montana on the mediums, but AJ and Dusty bang on each other's pace. It's pretty unreal how close them two guys are. As Jack, as I said, he'd be the person to pull the undercut, and he has exactly done that. As he comes out the pits now. As Montana, and I'll read him some messages there, but this battle is unbelievable. I mean, I stopped commentating because it's a stalemate. But here goes AJ round the outside. He's had enough of this. But there's not a lot I can say about this battle. There's just three together, and none of them are pitting. They've interested to see what Jack can do all the way back down in P10. We'll see what the gap to the leader is. He's come out ahead of Berra. So that kind of rules out on that. 33 seconds is the gap. And we'll see if that comes down or improves. We don't know, but 2/10 between the front three. Oh, that is insane, as Westham calls it as well. And I can only see Dusty and AJ pitting soon. And it'd be interesting to see what the tyre wear Montana is, just sitting in behind these two. He must not be doing him that much good. But he's definitely the faster driver. If he can just get some clean air, he's just waiting for these two to stop. And then what is their pace on the mediums? So the gap to leader, and the Jack is actually closing in. Interesting development. So will Jack be able to jump these three? With these three just sitting in each other's dirty air as well. It's coming down. So will Jack be able to take the lead? That'll be the most interesting thing. Because it's fallen into his favour with that early stop that he did, and he knew, he's played the game, he's been here before, he knows about this, he's beaten the likes of Alex and even Thorium on occasions. Not to victories necessarily, but the front two are in now, and oh, Dusty gets a 5-second stop and go. Just, and AJ was a lot more aggressive on the brakes into the pit lane as well, and he still didn't get one, and that pretty much rules out Dusty and the win. So now it's really between three guys, in my opinion. If we look at the gap to leader, on that last lap it was 1.5 seconds he closed in, and AJ's already away. And where's Jack in all this? I don't think he's close, actually. Jack's coming around the final corner, and AJ's coming out the pit lane. So it's between AJ now and Montana. Because Jack is still in behind. As you can see, there the guys ahead. He's come out around 2 seconds behind, if I have to hazard a guess. 2-3 seconds, yeah. As Montana picks up a penalty. What's the penalty situation? Is Jack he's picked up a few, hasn't he? 2. AJ with the 1. And Dusty, he didn't have any penalties, he just got to stop and go. And the gap to leader, so the pit stop window is around 30 seconds, I would say. 29, 30 seconds. That sounds about right. And yeah, he's blown it as Dusty. It's his opportunity to win this race has gone down the drain. To the fastest laps so far, as you can see, that Montana is slightly quicker, but not by much. And Jack has the pace, just not over long periods. unfortunately for him. But Jack's within 2 seconds of AJ, and AJ's dropping like a stone. He doesn't like these tyres. Gavillion pits, and it'll be interesting to see when the others pit. He's turned up the boost as Jack. He wants to get a move on. Because he knows he's got half a chance of winning this race if he can just get past AJ. Because look how much he's gained. I mean, this man is on a mission. But he's actually dropped a bit of time to Montana. So Montana's in that clean air is making something happen. And the only person that's actually keeping up with it is Dusty. But unfortunately he's got that stop and go. Obviously Montana will not know this unless he's listening to the stream. It's interesting that Elmo and, well, these three in general, Elmo's getting past Josie, and oh, look at these two. Tyre banging, wheel banging, oh god, there's another one. And there goes Mucky makes me move for the wooden spoon of the 10th place. There's, here goes Elmo, oh! Oh, Josie, that's disgraceful. He's just swiped him. And he's lost, that's any hope of anything. There's, Akil's in the pit, sorry, I thought he was making a move there, was Jack. We'll see the interval to the lead, it's kind of stable now, but you can't help but Montana thinking that Montana's probably got this race in the bag. If Dusty gets it down to around 27 seconds, then he's got half a chance, but he'd have to pull away off that stop-go penalty unless it was unjust. But they're usually pretty slam dunk. Mocky Weeks is brought to P9, Bob IP8. Kevline is, it starts to spread out now, but the battle really is for the lead as Jack picks up another penalty. And the thing with Dusty is he hasn't even got a warning, and the only thing he can hope for is that Montana gets another one, really. If he gets another penalty, then Dusty is back in the frame. As Jack's actually falling back now, this is yo-yoing. As you see, AJ's running out of ERS there. Dusty's pushing to save his life. Montana's improving on his lap times somehow. On 14 lap old mediums. But when he pits, he will come out behind Dusty, I think. But nobody else. because their lap times are very similar. If I look at the laps, Montana's been 28, 29, 29, 20. Like, you see, they're very similar as well. Late 29s at the minute. It's very impressive by these two. So that they're in a couple of tenths of each other every lap. So, but when them soft tyres get bolted on the Montana, he's going to be off into the distance because he sets the fastest lap. There's Montana pits. There's it was starting to dial down a little bit. Cavillion's starting to make moves. Dusty's come back the map straight as Montana pits. Has Montana picked up any more penalties? He's picked up another warning, so he's 2 away. So Dusty still has a little bit of hope, but it's not likely. So Montana heads down to the end of the pit lane. So that is a absolutely great camera angle. We don't know where he is. There goes Dusty round turn 1, and there's Montana, and Dusty round the outside is still in the lead of this race, but only just. And I mean just. There's an incident in sector 1. Oh, and it's Jack, who was doing so well, and he's binned it into cops, I'm presuming. Oh no, it's not into cops, it's into, it looks like turn 3. So that pretty much confirms the podium positions, but it leaves just 2 men really. Alfie's just a bit behind. As actually Montana's taking the lead. I don't know where that's happened, but he's done it. And that's him into the distance really, unless with DRS Dusty does something. And we'll have to wait and see what Dusty can produce. With DRS, can he close in on the back of Montana? Montana's weaving. He's gaining, he's going to try around the outside, all or nothing. And oh, look at the grip Dusty's getting there, but Montana with the drive. Will he go for a dive bomb? Will he go for it? No, he sits in behind. And Montana takes the lead of the race. I think he might have got into DRS range and just took him fairly easily. That candy from a baby. Oh, what a save that is from Dusty there. As he nearly suffered the same fate as Jack, and here comes Jack coming into the pits as he had a pretty shocking second stint in the end, and it was all looking very promising for him when he made that undercut. As now Montana's off into the distance. And this race is starting to die out, so is my voice as well. I've still got 12 viewers. Thank you everybody who's tuned into this race. It's been a great race really. The start was pretty unbelievable really. There's the top 5 were all together. It's kind of spread out now. But Mocking Weeks is still managing to get P7. What the hell is this shit? Lovely. Cavillion now is looking at his teammate. And Cavillion actually made that move on, I think he lost it somewhere. As everyone is now spread out now, which makes this race a bit boring, but with 6 laps to go. It looks like Montana's going to win. AJ is starting to close in on Dusty now. And probably will get that P2. And that's actually close to battle on track. This 1.5 seconds difference to Dusty. I'm sorry, my contract is fading. I'm organising something after this race. But yeah, Alfie needs to really get a move on to get this move done. I think he's got a lot of penalties actually, which might make a difference. He's still got warning. That is a very impressive thing. Montana's got 2 now, penalties wise. Alfie's got 2, so he needs to overtake him. Really. But also, Montana needs to get out of the 6-second gap that he's got to Dusty as well. But it looks likely that's going to happen. One person that we haven't really talked about in a while, Jack Pitt, and then he's now out in P11. 6 seconds to borrow, but he could probably get that, to be honest. With not long to go, and if he gets borrowed, we could possibly get better. But it's a long shot that. But he's on the faster tyres by a bit. And actually, I'll have a look at the T1 race times. So Milik's 39.39. There's that 6-second gap's been reached now. And Alfie doesn't seem to be catching Dusty now, and it's kind of the same as it's been. Hidden has caught up. It's been overtaken by Berry, should I say. As Berry picks up another penalty. Oh, and there goes Hidden. And yeah, it deserved a bit more than 3 seconds, I think. For that. It was a silly penalty to get. As Alpha picks up another penalty as well. Trying to push a bit hard. Now, basically rules him out of getting Dusty altogether. But one person who is on the move is Jack. He wants some points. I mean, he was comfortably in P4 until he binned it on them medium tyres. He struggled a little bit. Initially, he was very quick, but when they wore a little bit, he started dropping back a little bit. But here goes Jack on lap 24. Oh god, that's wide. As he looks at the back of Borob. Alfie's actually caught up now up to the back of Dusty just a little bit. But there really isn't a lot more mocking weeks, I suppose. He's trying to make a fight out of Keel. And it looks like Mucky Meeks is just have to keep behind for now. And won't be able to get that move done. It's going to go down to the wire, but I think we should go on board with Montana. He's started the last lap, he's not quite at the end of it yet. AJ is caught up to the back of Dusty, but it's not really going to happen for him. The one person that it might happen for, though, is Mockymix for P6. And he's going to use his DRS now, and it's running out of time for Mockymix. He needs to go around the outside and hang it around the outside, and he does, he commits right around the outside. And he makes that move stick. And that promotes him to P6, although Akil is fighting back, and he's fighting back strong. And Akil spins it a little bit, just hits the rear wheel. But unfortunately, loses out there, as Jack, as we've lost all of our stuff there, has made the move on Borrow, I think, for the wooden spoon of the points. And that's him up into P10. And AJ has made the move on Dusty. Oh, has he? They're going side by side. This is the very last lap. They're giving it everything. AJ, does he send it? I don't think he does. I think he's consigned to his fate. Montana's won the race, by the way. Brilliant drive from him again. 10 seconds. It's unfair to say that was meant to be 10 seconds. It was so much closer, though. As Dusty comes home in second, AJ third. And oh, Jack spinned it. Well, he's retired. And we don't know what happened quite to him. As yeah, a brilliant drive from Montana again, winning the race. He had to work for that one though. Not the best of starts. Had some great battles in there as well. And 39.41. That's insane. If we have a look at the 2-1, it's like it's a lot more than that. .39.39. Oh, it's very close. 2 seconds in it actually. So very, very impressive from Montana. And well done, Tim. Thank you for everybody for watching. It's been a great race. I will be with you next week as we go to. I can't remember what track we're at next week. Round 9. That's all I know. And yeah, we had the VSC as well. It spiced the race up. We have lots of things that spice the race up. So obviously that added to the race time. I didn't think about that too much. But yeah, thank you everybody. Thank you to all the drivers that turned up. It was a great race. And yeah, I'm Nene 3 to 7. And I'll see you next week. Thank you very much.